Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Mosaic, a game by Glenn Rover, published by Forbidden Games.
This is a preview of a prototype, just so you know, so everything here is prototype. And just to make it clear, Glenn Rover is a friend of us and we have been working with Forbidden Games at cons or con. In one, because cons were deleted
Spiel,
after that.
Essen.
Just so you know that before we going in, we're just going to give you an overview because this is a preview of the game, so you know that. But we want to be clear about our affiliation with the publisher.
Absolutely.
So Mosaic is a new, what is it called again? It's called a city, no, it's called a civilization game, a civilization building game. I'm sorry, English words were just falling apart in my brain. So this is an action selection civilization game. A very Euro-ish civilization game where each time it's your turn you're going to do one of 8 actions. And those actions might be getting new resources, it might be building cities on the board, building towns on the board, starting projects that will give you victory points, getting technologies that give you special abilities and symbols so that you can build up your engine and get better production, better technologies and better points, because points is where it's at. And you can build wonders, which will give you then influence in the areas, because there is area influence, area control, area majority in the game as well. You can put out military forces, which will add to your majority in the areas. And then at random aspects or random times in the game, more or less random, depending on how you set up the game, you're going to draw some of these cards.
Yeah.
So you're going to score the empires, then you're going to do area majority in each of the empires, how many cities and wonders you have there, plus the different units you have will score you influence points, and then you will get points depending on what is in these different areas. That's not the only way to get points. There's so many points to be having in this game. So we're going to go through the different actions, talk a bit about how they work, and if anything is interested here, you can of course go and check the Kickstarter. It's going to be live on Kickstarter the 10th of May, no, the 11th of May. This is the 10th of May when you see this video. The 11th of May, that means tomorrow. We're going to put a link in the description as soon as the product goes live.
Yes, so in addition to this main board, you each have your own player board, and on there you basically have your a lot of tracks, and that names your population, and also different tracks, like production tracks, really. So
for stone, for ideas, for food, and for some taxes and tariffs, basically it's an income track.
The first action that you can do on your turn, you do one action per turn, is building some wonders. And you pay for the first wonder with 20 stone and 5 food. And for each wonder you build after that, you have to pay 5 additional of each.
Yes.
So let's see, I want to build a lighthouse of Alexandria. This gives me a final scoring. In this case, it gives me points for trade goods. So these are trade goods. And if I build this, I take it for myself. And then I put it basically wherever I want.
You have to place it where you have a city.
Yes.
Yes.
So I can place it here then. And I probably would place it on top of something so that I get it.
A trade good, and that gives you points for the Alexandria Lighthouse.
Yes.
So, and also these adds a lot of influence when you count out the influence in the areas.
Yeah.
Then you can build cities, which gives you access to more areas of the board. You can build towns, which basically give you income and also will possibly give you a possibility to get more of these trade goods. You can start projects which give you scoring opportunities. And basically you pay for what you want. You take the card. For example, this port city, I will build the city on rock and roll over here in a port, which is where there are some ships.
Boats.
And then I will get the bonus that's here. I will put it in front of me so I know how these symbols, which I'm going to talk more of the symbols later.
Yes.
And that's the build action.
You can also work on your turn.
Work!
And that is basically looking at your player board, seeing what track or what product resource do I want to produce, and then take the amount that you produce. Very simple. Yes.
Yeah, and the way you produce is that the population you have plus the production you have is what you produce.
Yeah.
So the population, how many people you have, basically helps you for everything.
Yes.
And perfect transition going into the population action. The population here is that you choose one of these population cards, you pay what it says. For example, I can pay 5 food for 1 population, or I can pay 30 food for 4 population.
Yes.
Then I add that to my track and I will know be better when I do the work, I will produce more, and also you need to spend population when you build cities.
Yes. And you can also spend idea resources to think of new technology, and so you practically invent them. So I can then choose from any of these 5
In
technologies,
the display, yeah.
and I have to meet some criteria here. So for example, in this case, I need to have 3 of these coin symbols already in my tableau. I can still take this card even if I don't have it, but then I have to turn it upside down and can't use it before I meet this criteria.
Then you can basically flip it up. And I really like that because these kind of displays, sometimes a card comes up that you really want. And it happens in these kind of games all the time where you flip a card like, oh, I really want that card, but I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And in this game, it's always cost the same, but then if you can't play it now, and also it's a way you can basically kind of hate draft as well.
Yes,
if something comes up on my turn that is really good for you, I can then go ahead and I can just swipe it, and maybe I will get used for it, and maybe not, and it doesn't cost me that much to do it.
Yes.
Next up, we have the tax and a tariff action down here in the corner. It is basically where you go and you say, I'm going to take stuff from the people who live in my civilization and they're not going to be happy. And they work different ways. You score, you get coins for the trade goods you have on one of them, and you also can get score for different symbols that are shown on the cards, plus some production that you have, and maybe like this one is double your population. So if you have 10 population, you get 20 coins. Plus, I maybe have this symbol which gives me 2 points and 2 coins, and then another 4 coins for my tax production, for example. But then I'm going to keep this card, and it's going to give me 3 unrest, which is basically
are not happy.
Then 3 negative points at the end of the game. There are a way to mitigate that, but you really have to think, do I need those money or not? And also you're going to get more money than this, because money is good. Money is a joker resource that you can use. For every 2 money, you can use 2 money for whatever resource you want.
That is really neat.
Every time somebody builds a city, they have to place some money here in the coffer. And when you take a tax or tariff, you get everything that's there. So you're trying to basically, how far will I push it until I take those money? And then somebody else will take it. And then you will be, I needed that money. And now you will get way less money.
The next thing you can do is place military on your board. You pay 10 coins for a unit, so that's another reason you need money.
Coins.
And you can also move them later, because these adds to my total strength in this area. And if I see, oh, I'm gonna win this anyway, I can move over here, for example, and try to win over you in this area. And that costs 1 coin if I want to move them. So yeah.
You can then produce 2 of them in each round.
Yes.
And let's go into this here, because many people always ask when these kind of games come out, is this like an attacky game or is this more of a Euro game? Where does this lay?
More in a Euro game. That is good for me, because I'm not that good at attacking people, and I'm very unhappy when people attack me. So this is more towards a Euro part of the civilization building, like more nations than the civilization, the board game, for example. Yes.
I would say it's 95%, because there's only a few cards in the technology deck that lets you destroy other people's units or lets you manipulate their units. And you have some diplomats and some stuff like that that can move them out and things like that. But there's no combat in the game.
No.
There's no, oh, I'm going to move in here and attack you. That doesn't happen. They just live here and they add influence.
And you don't take any of my resources really. You just control the area. That is the only thing.
Yeah, so I take points away from you. Yeah. But points are really good to have, because points is what wins you the game. Yeah. So that is one thing that you have to know. It's a very friendly game. Yeah. There are some technologies that can manipulate that, but most of the time there's not going to be there's not combat.
Yeah, though you kind of eradicated my whole army the last time we played. You kind of had all the technology for nullifying all of my influence in the regions, and you controlled all the regions except one. That is really good. That is a lot of points.
That is. And yes. I did win the game, but I didn't win by that much, and I won because I had so many points in the technology.
Oh yeah,
basically.
Absolutely.
The last action you can take is to do a change of government. So you have different governments that gives you bonuses or points at each scoring, or gives you a bonus that goes as long as you have that government. And to get a government, you, for example, says you have to have 4 military symbols, and then you can pay 10 ideas and you get that government, and you have that in front of you, and that adds to a tiny little strategy.
Yeah.
Which this is usual in these kind of civilization games, that you can get and change governments. so those are basically the actions that you can do.
Throughout the game, you can also score some civilization achievements by like having 12 population in this case, or control 4 regions, and that will give you 6 points each, and there's a lot of those, so you can like set your goals to get that before anyone else.
It's a race. I'm gonna win. It's a race.
Yeah, and also the symbols that you have that you build in your tableau can give you some golden age scoring. So if I have 6
Greens.
yellow, yeah, green, thematically in my tableau, then I will get some bonus, so more food production in this case, and another 6 points.
Yeah, we have only played as 2 players because that's how like things are going up and down in the world we know, and this time we just happened to be able to be 2 players, and we played 2 players. I think that worked really well. I think that since it is so, hasn't that like combat thing, and you're building up your own engine, it's kind of like with the engine building here, like the building of the tableau, kind of reminds me of a Terraforming Mars, where you building up and you can go for like a heavy strategy on the map, or you can go for a heavy strategy on the cards, and do like, it has very few similarities with Terraforming Mars other than that, but that kind of gave me that building up of the cards and trying to get the right card, and this card works with this card, and that works with that, and that worked very well. But I think like of course the moving of the enemy, like all area majority games, I feel like if you have a 3rd player, you can either be second or last or first, like with very black and white, with like on and off, like you are either first or you're last with 2 players. But I felt like still with 2 players, I think still it's a very good game with 2 players. I think still you have that, though I was trying to, oh no, I maybe think that it's coming soon, so maybe I should try to sneak in here and get those points. Oh, this is an empty area. So the game board is smaller with 2 players. You play with fewer areas, which adds to that as well.
Yeah, I think because I don't think like the area majority is essential to winning the game, but if you play a 2-player game and you only have one, I'm talking from experience here, one area that you control, you're giving a lot of points away to the other players. I think it's more important to go for a area majority in a 2-player game than, for example, in a 3-player game, but it's kind of mitigated.
We don't know because we haven't played the game enough.
Yeah.
And also one thing I do like is that the amount of points you get for winning an area depends on how much stuff is in the area.
That's true.
So that means if I just go like this, and I win that's just going to be like a few points for me.
Yes.
But if I go in like to a big area and I sneak in the win there, that's going to be more points.
Yes,
so absolutely. That is really interesting as well. So it doesn't really help me. It does help me. But like if here I would get maybe, I think 4 points if I win this now. And 4 points isn't that much in the game.
No, yeah, really not. But I think there's a lot of ways to get points.
Yes.
And that I really enjoy because you can, before I played this, I was a little skeptical because I am not into these kind of games usually, but it was more Euro-y than I thought, and that made me more happy. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's not a light game. It's not a heavy game. I will say like it's a medium kind of game.
Yeah.
Like the actions are pretty simple, but trying to play the best you can. It's a medium style civilization game.
Yeah, I agree.
And is there anything you want to add?
No, I think actually this is, I would say, lighter than Civilization. No, Nations, for example.
Nations is a pretty heavy game, so yeah.
So if you're looking for, I don't want to say it's a gateway game into those kind of games, but kind of, because those games are kind of, yeah, I agree.
And it also have a map, so it's very different from Nations because that's only card driven.
Absolutely.
So that is it. If this piqued your interest, you can go and check out the Kickstarter. There's more information probably on the Forbidden Games Facebook page. You can go and follow that. And that is the end of another preview. We hope this gave you some insight, some help to see if this game might be for you. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments and we will try to answer them as good as we can.
Yes.
And that is the end of another video. If you're still here and you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it. It's free. It's fun. It makes us smile. And if you want to do something that's not free, you can go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings and help us out. That helps a lot. If you can do it, that's amazing. If you already do it, you are amazing. If you can't do it, you're still amazing.
Yeah.
And that is the end. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Senua.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.